grizzly attack.
It is bear habitat, but I don't think a lot of Albertans realize that.
A hunter airlifted to hospital, and the area where it happened blocked off. Blue Jays memories.
I was in the Sky Dome, and the place was moving. That entire cement structure was moving. It was amazing.
Longtime fans hope for a third World Series championship this weekend. And why we love being scared.
Research really shows is that fear is about the everyday experience.
The science behind fear.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Ian White.
Good afternoon. An Alberta community is rallying to support a local hockey coach who was mauled by a grizzly bear while hunting west of Calgary. That's where Mark Villani joins us. And Mark, walk us through what we know about the victim and how this incident all unfolded.
Well, Ian, I'm standing here on Township Road 242. We're just south of Cochrane, about 30 kilometers west of Calgary. And behind me is a big open grassy area that's been cordoned off by Alberta Fish and Wildlife. This is where a man in his 30s, Jesse Sayer, was mauled by a grizzly bear around 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon. We can tell you that officials have confirmed that grizzly was shot, but another bear was fleeing the area in the process of it all, prompting a further investigation. Now, Sayer was transported to hospital in critical condition around 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon. This viewer video shows the Star Air ambulance rescue unfolding. EMS says his condition at the time was life-threatening. It's been upgraded now to non-life-threatening, but it's still a long road ahead to recovery. Now, Sayer is the vice president of the Carstairs Minor Hockey Association. He's described as a longtime loyal volunteer, a coach and a mentor who's made a lasting impact in his community. A fundraiser is now being organized for his family. The news is devastating, but wildlife experts say they're grateful this did not end in a fatality, adding that Albertans still need to stay vigilant as grizzlies reclaim prairie habitats.
It is, of course, the fall now, and I think a lot of us are thinking, oh, it's cold, there's snow on the mountains, the bears have all gone to bed. And certainly around mid-October, some of the bears do start to go into their dens, especially pregnant females, but there are going to be still bears around. We can still have some of those large male grizzly bears out on the landscape all the way into November and even early December.
Now, experts urge hunters and outdoor enthusiasts to always carry bear spray, travel in groups, make lots of noise, and keep your dogs on leashes. Forestry and Parks Minister Todd Loewen also speaking us today. He says that the province is looking into ways to manage the grizzly bear population, but he says anybody that's heading outdoors in these types of wooded areas or open areas should stay as cautious and optimistic that these bears won't come out as possible.
Mark, thank you. The older brother involved in the stabbing death of an 18-year-old 2 years ago has pleaded guilty to manslaughter. Danilo Canales Glenn was playing basketball with friends in Copperfield when the brothers randomly beat and stabbed him. Both were charged with second-degree murder. One of the brothers was 16 at the time, and because of the Youth Criminal Justice Act, we can't identify either sibling. Today, the eldest pleaded guilty to manslaughter. His younger brother has already been convicted and sentenced for manslaughter. Alberta's premier is now calling on the federal government to use the notwithstanding clause. It's related to today's Supreme Court decision about minimum sentences for child pornography. The court ruled the 1-year mandatory minimum sentence for accessing or possessing child pornography is unconstitutional. Danielle Smith says the minimum sentence is already too lenient for such a heinous crime. She wants Mark Carney's government to immediately invoke the notwithstanding clause. Earlier this week, the province used the clause to end the teacher strike. January diploma exams and grade 9 provincial achievement tests are canceled. The province says it wants to ensure students and teachers have time to catch up on learning following the teacher strike. Students may voluntarily write the January diploma exams in April or June. Those who opt out will have a notation added to their transcripts. The province says there will be no impact on a student's ability to graduate or transition to post-secondary programs. Payments are now showing up in the accounts of parents whose children were affected by the teacher strike. Financial assistance for eligible families is retroactive to October 6th, when the strike began. It will cover each school day missed. E-transfers will be sent out to the email address connected to your alberta.ca account. For more information, head to our website, ctvnews.ca/Calgary. Kids are starting to head out for trick-or-treating. This block in West Hillhurst is sure to attract lots of crowds tonight. Parents are reminded to make sure their children can be seen in the dark. Police, firefighters, ambulance, transit, and peace officers will be patrolling neighborhoods, so anyone who needs a little help can simply ask. That is a wonderful display at that home.
Yes.
And Glinda Martin joins us now from the Skywatch Weather Center. Great to see you. I know you always get into Halloween. Can you wave your wand around and give us some nice weather for the weekend?
I'm trying my best, but I believe I saw in that shot there Elphaba in the background. So she's already causing me trouble tonight, but I'm still doing everything I can to make sure you have a fabulous Halloween, all my fellow citizens of Oz. Let's take a look outside right now as your 24-hour forecast. We're going to have 6 degrees currently out there, with the winds already out of the south at 13 kilometers an hour. That'll pick up throughout the evening up to 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. So if you have any costumes that have any props for them that might blow away, you're going to want to secure them down. And of course, your 24-hour forecast brought to you by 5th Avenue Volkswagen, where you can win your ride. See dealer for details or visit 5thavenuevw.com. And of course, Ian, we can't forget about the other big event tonight. The World Series is happening. Game 6 in Toronto. The temperature there for first pitch will be 9 degrees.
Too much fun. Thank you. The Toronto Blue Jays have a chance to win their 3rd World Series title tonight. Glenn Campbell joins us live from Shanks. And Glenn, there's a lot of excitement across Canada for the Blue Jays.
Well, Ian, sports has the ability to bring people together, and the Blue Jays playoff run has certainly done that. It's going to be loud here in Shanks tonight, and it's also going to be loud in bars all across the city. The Toronto Blue Jays haven't won a world championship since winning back-to-back titles back in 1992 and 1993. Chris Duker is as big a Jays fan as they're going to come. He lives in Calgary now, but was born and raised in Oakville, Ontario. Now, he was fortunate enough that his family had season tickets to the Jays, so he was at all the home games and got to watch the Jays win on home soil for the first time in history in 1993. He still got the tickets from those games. It's a memory he will never forget.
Oh, it was amazing. I mean, especially, obviously, when we talk about 93, we talk about Joe Carter. That's what we think of. We think of Tom Cheek's iconic call. And I was in the Sky Dome, then Sky Dome, now Rogers Center, obviously. But I was in the Sky Dome, and the place was moving. That entire cement structure was moving. It was amazing.
Duker won't make it to the World Series this year, but he's going to watch the game from home, and hopefully the Jays are going to pick up their 3rd ever World Series championship. Ian?
All right, let's go Jays. Thanks very much, Glenn. This year's Poppy campaign is officially underway. The Legion says wearing a poppy is a visual pledge to honor Canada's veterans and remember those who sacrificed for our freedoms today. Poppies will be available until Remembrance Day on November 11th. All money donated goes towards supporting Canada's veterans and their families. This is the Legion's most significant annual fundraising efforts. Adding up the damage from this year's wildfire season. Next, why the threat of fire isn't over yet. And tonight's the night we get scared, so why do we enjoy it? Also, if you have a news tip, text us at 10400. Alberta's wildfire season is unofficially over. With a bit of good news, the Calgary forest area had the least amount of land burned across the province. Just over 35 hectares were scorched by 63 wildfires between March 1st and October 31st. There were 1,245 fires in Alberta, which burned nearly 682,000 hectares of land in total. That's slightly less than last year and much less than 2023. Calgary had relatively average temperatures in June, July, and August, and a very wet July, but the risk isn't gone yet. September and October have been very dry.
Considering how dry it is right now, especially in southern Alberta, people do need to pay attention to any activities that they're doing that involve fire, sparks, firework activity.
Fire advisories are in effect for Rocky View County and Foothills County. There's also a fire ban for Lethbridge's River Valley. So we do need some moisture. Glinda, where is the wicked weather?
Well, it's to the west of us, Ian, shockingly. And yes, I know Alphaba's here tonight, and the rain would help me out because she doesn't like water.
No.
But I know trick-or-treaters don't like water either, so we'll have to just wait for that wet weather to arrive. Certainly the clouds right now through our Skywatch weather camera look a little ominous out there for your Halloween night, but really we're not expecting anything super spooky. Currently we're at 6 degrees with a high that is usually what is the normal for this time of year. We're taking a look now at our wind conditions, and they are very gusty to the south and to the east of us as we have some high pressure circulating around right now, but very calm in Calgary currently. But that'll change later this evening. We are expecting winds throughout your trick-or-treating hours to be between 20 to 40 kilometers an hour. And taking a look at those temperatures, already seeing single digits for many places, down to 1 degree in Edson right now. There's a look at the precipitation, very close to Calgary, and that has that greenish hue, so that looks like Alphaba's doing, but it does dissipate. I've put a protective bubble around the city, so we really shouldn't see much precipitation tonight. Snowfall warnings, though, along the mountains there, and wind warnings down south in the southwest corner there in the foothills. Let's take a look at your futurecast and see what's in store for the rest of the weekend. Of course, again, it's that mixed precipitation along the mountains that could be bothersome for some people, especially if you're driving over the next couple of days. But those mountains do help block things for the most part from getting over into the east side of the Rockies there, the leeward side of the mountains. So we're expecting a nice sunny start to Saturday and a little bit of building cloud throughout the afternoon. Again, windy tomorrow out of the southwest at around 20 kilometers an hour, and then a nice sunny Sunday for you with temperatures warming up a little bit. We've got our dancing Frankenstein here. This is a good green person. I like this green guy. 6 degrees for your forecast tonight for Halloween. It's going to be just lovely out there, but again, just keep in mind that there is the breezy conditions, so the masks or any of those wings or any props you might have could get picked up and blown away if they're not secured down on your costume. Oh, who made my screen green here? I knew she was going to do something. She was going to do something like this and try to ruin my forecast, but we won't let her. I'll make this pink later in the show here, but we have 14 degrees tomorrow. Again, thanks in part to those southerly winds. 9 degrees for Sunday and mainly sunny. And then we start to see those building clouds as we get throughout the week. And I think she tried to play another trick here by putting that thunderstorm risk on Wednesday. Rest assured, my fellow citizens of Oz, we'll have nice conditions and no thunderstorms in the forecast for the next 5 days.
We spend most of the year avoiding it, but on the spookiest night of the year, we chase fear. And that begs the question, why do we like a good scare? A lot of homes have been transformed into haunted horrors for Halloween. For those seeking out a Halloween scream, Alex Bierman has studied fear and says it comes down to control, or our illusion of it. A safe shock is fun because while the screams are real, the threat is not.
Research really shows is that fear is about the everyday experience. Feeling like you can't afford to put food on the table. Feeling like you're alone and vulnerable. That's really what scares people. That's maybe why people are most attracted to scary movies and scary books and other scary materials, because they aren't the real threats that people really face in everyday life that truly are scary.
And Bierman says there are many reasons people may enjoy scaring others, from the thrill of performing, the sense of power, and simply because it's fun. Twice she went to trial against Donald Trump, and twice she won. Still ahead, E. Jean Carroll on what she thinks of Trump now and what she plans to do with the money a judge says he owes her. Canada's economy economy shrank in the month of August. Joining me is Liana Wachniak, investment advisor with the Popwich-Kermally Advisory Group. And Liana, the economy took a step backward over the summer.
That's right. We actually saw the economy basically give back the gains that we had seen in July. Between July and August, we've basically moved back to a flat, no growth quarter so far. Now, the reason that we're looking at this on a quarterly basis is because 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth means that we are technically in a recession here in Canada. And we've already had 1 negative quarter of GDP growth. That was the second quarter. It was down about 1.6%. If we're at about even now we're looking at September's results to determine whether or not we are seeing a technical recession. Now, Statistics Canada did release a estimate, let's call it, with forward looking into the September numbers. They did see a little bit of growth in the economy, like 0.1%, but we'll get firmer data, and of course those always do get revised. So in about a month we will be able to see whether or not the Canadian economy is just very, very slow, or if we are technically in a recession right now.
And Amazon has strong growth in the battle for cloud computing supremacy.
That's right, and it actually played into the market trading today. Amazon was kind of the bright point amongst all of the mega cap stocks, and in particular, that cloud computing segment really added a lot to their bottom line. They actually saw that grow by 20% in terms of revenue year over year in that particular segment. Not so much a rosy picture necessarily on the go-forward basis on their retail side, but as more companies look for more cloud computing power in order to build out their AI platforms, Amazon has become one of those go-to names. So that was a good news story for Amazon, and their shares traded up around the 10% mark all day today.
Liana, thanks very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too.
The Alberta government has started talking with First Nations groups as it pushes for a pipeline to the West Coast. The province announced earlier this month it would lead the application for a crude oil pipeline to Northwest BC. It's teaming up with private partners to suggest a route and figure out the cost. Alberta is also working with Indigenous leaders for support and equity in any future project. More than a dozen groups have been talked to, and Alberta's Indigenous Relations Minister has also visited 5 communities so far.
I think the encouraging thing to focus on is that there's not outright opposition unanimously. There is support because communities are seeing, like Haisla First Nation, for example, they're involved in Cedar LNG. There is an understanding that these kinds of resource projects bring significant benefit.
But the president of Coastal First Nations, where a proposed pipeline could go through in BC, says it strongly opposes the plan. The group says it's a firm no on crude pipelines and oil tankers along the coast. Ontario's government is looking into creating a new energy corridor and pipeline from Western Canada. That province is looking for ways to reduce dependence on the U.S. A feasibility study will explore the benefits of building oil and gas pipelines from Alberta and Saskatchewan to new and existing refineries in Ontario. A hunter is recovering in the Foothills Hospital after being mauled by a grizzly bear. Here's Tara Nelson with a look ahead to CTV News at 6.
Hi, Ian. The attack happened yesterday afternoon in the Springbank area. Coming up at 6, what we're learning about the victim, plus reaction from a nearby resident. Also ahead, details about the latest steps Canmore is taking to protect the mountain town from wildfire. We'll see you at 6. Ian.
Thanks, Tara. Jean Carroll took on Donald Trump in court and won. A jury in New York found Trump liable for defamation and sexual assault, and a second jury awarded Carroll more than $83 million U.S. in damages. Carroll tells her story in Not My Type, One Woman versus a President. She's in Calgary for a WordFest event on November 7th. And joining me is Jean Carroll. It's great to see you.
It's fabulous to see you, and just let me say, go Blue Jays.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, a lot of people, when they see Donald Trump, they get a very visceral response to him, especially Canadians. What goes through your mind when you see him?
I see an old, fat man.
Wow. Anything else? I mean, does the trauma go deep for you?
I'm over the, I've had a great victory. That's what I think about. That's what I think about. One old lady with a genius attorney beat Donald Trump. Twice. It can be done. And if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Now, as I mentioned, you have been awarded $83 million in damages. Have you seen a penny of it yet?
Don't worry about me seeing a penny about it. No, there's no worry about that. What I'm worried about is the rest of the country. How are they getting through? How are the people at the airports who, the TSA, the people who check everybody, before you get on the plane? They have not been paid for weeks. How are they buying food for their kids? How are they doing it? I'm very worried about everybody else. Don't worry that I will get the money, and then I'm going to be giving it to everything Donald Trump hates.
E. Jean Carroll's new book is Not My Type. She's in Calgary for WordFest on November 7th. To see my extended interview with her, visit ctvnews.ca/Calgary. We are anticipating some warmer conditions tomorrow. Right now in Calgary, mostly cloudy and +6 as the kids head out to trick or treat. Gina or Glinda has the details coming up. Okay, let's be clear on this. You are the good weather witch.
Yes.
You're a good witch, but that doesn't necessarily mean you bring us good weather.
I mean, I try my best, but we do need a little bit of the bad with the good sometimes, Ian. But yes, tonight's looking pretty good for most part. We do have some clouds over the city right now that might have you wondering, oh, is some rain on the way? Well, while we could use some precipitation, I don't think Elphaba, who I've seen in camera shots here lingering about the city, would like that wet weather very much. So we're battling, me and her, but I think we both want nice conditions for the forecast for our trick-or-treaters. So windy tonight and tomorrow as well, getting up to 14 degrees. And then on Sunday, I'm going to wave my magic wand and we're going to gain an hour, Ian.
Thanks, Glinda. Well, animals at the Calgary Zoo have been getting into the Halloween spirit. The polar bear, Siku, was given a large pumpkin and worked hard to break into it. It looks like the insides provided a delicious treat. The musk ox were treated to a large pumpkin-themed box filled with leaves. The zoo has been posting videos all week of the animals enjoying some Halloween enrichment. So they're having fun, too. Thank you for joining us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.